4 to 6 p.m., I should say. John Roller, KTAR News.
Some dark clouds out there. We've got a decent chance of rain tonight, Thursday, and even Friday with an overnight low expected at 54. And then tomorrow's high, 65. Into the upper 50s on Friday. Right now in Scottsdale, it's 70 degrees. Weather brought to you by Howard Air and Plumbing. Whether replace or repair, call Howard Air and Plumbing. I'm Becky Lynn on Arizona's news station, KTAR News.
Outspoken with Bruce and Gaydos presents The War Room. A political symposium cutting through the noise from the Arizona State Capitol to Washington, D.C. The War Room starts now.
We are in the belly of the beast.
Don't refer to our guests like that.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is the War Room every single Wednesday at 5 o'clock. And we will do this for the next hour. Introducing our panel. We've got Kristin, Bentz, CEO of KB Advisory Group. Good to see you.
Thanks so much for having me.
Look at Tony Cani over there, Democratic strategist. Nice to see you, Tony.
Happy to be here.
And we've got the former governor of the great state of Arizona. She's also the co-chair for the Karen Taylor Robeson campaign. Ladies and gentlemen, Jan Brewer.
Thank you. It's great to be back with you guys, I think.
Governor.
It's early.
It's early in the show.
hour.
Yes. All right. So let's go over the economy.
Oh, boy.
I don't really know what to say about it, but I feel dizzy, nauseous at some point. There's 61% of adults in a new survey disapprove. 61% disapprove of Trump's handling of the economy. We've got tariffs changing by the hour. I thought it was a joke yesterday, but Bruce said it wasn't. They were on and then they were off. I think he's changed. Somebody told me 8 times. I think that's low. Is he running the economy into the ground?
Absolutely not.
Really?
Yes.
Well, tell me, then make me feel better because I don't feel really good right now.
I will make you feel better. And I said this yesterday on the Schwab Network about this too shall pass. So the market today rallied because we got some finally great news on inflation. CPI, PPI, all those numbers came down in a very robust manner. And I get a lot of flack here at the KTAR about being, the angel of death and, having all of these, bad things to say about the economy, Grim Reaper, etc. But when things are good, you have to let them be good. Eggs came down $2 since Trump took office. He's done a lot in 2 months. Is the messaging a little intense for people? Do they have whiplash? Perhaps. But today the market rallied. We want to see that.
Tony?
Yeah, I just wish that the president cared much about people who make less money than maybe some of the other folks, that he would actually be trying to address some of these other issues. I think it's crazy that Elon Musk is having a tough time at Tesla.
He is.
And all of a sudden he drops everything and he does a little car salesman bit yesterday at the White House. If there's anything that talks about how little he cares about poorer people actually getting their fair share, that's it. The fact that the stock market is rallying and dropping. I heard you talking earlier about whether or not young people, older people.
Yeah,
the reason why young people don't care,
age.
but it's not, young people can't afford to buy a home, let alone invest in the stock market. Mm-hmm. And that is not getting better. That is not getting better here in Arizona, specifically when it comes to housing prices. And I just don't know what it is that he thinks he's doing. These attacks on our biggest trade partners just don't make any sense.
Governor Brewer, what about the messaging? You know all about messaging. You've been in the hot seat. Is the messaging from D.C., it's just chaos to me.
It is chaos. It's almost too much to bear. But you realize it's President Trump. He's doing exactly what he said he was going to do on the campaign trail. He's delivered it, and he has thrown so many toys into the crib so that everybody's getting whiplash. So nobody can really concentrate on one issue. Somebody cares about this, somebody cares about that. But things have rallied. So he's delivered, and his popularity is up. The people like him. Yes,
they do like him. Look at your 401k today. Look at the market and where it closed today. At one point, it was up 300 points.
So if you look, but don't look at the last week.
Don't look at the last 4 years.
Only look at the come on.
Wait,
come on,
the last
guys.
4 years on the markets were great.
Were awesome.
But who were they good for? Back to your point, were they great for people that made less than $50,000 a year?
Well, you're talking about the market.
I'm talking about the
whoever's
market, and I'm
invested
talking
in the market.
But everyone's invested in the market. It's not just young people or old people.
In the last
Everyone's
month,
invested.
the Dow is still down 7%, 3,119.
The Dow is down
30 days.
over 2,000 points since Trump took over.
It's going to go up. You guys just have to be in there. That's the biggest buying opportunity. That's what I said yesterday. And then today it rallied. So you want to buy on weakness. Do you want to be short the market at this point?
But
I would
he's
want to
the
be
one-
short the Dow.
But he's the one that's tanking the market.
He's
with
not
what he's
tanking
saying.
the market.
With
What
what
he's
he
done
is
in 2
saying.
months.
The
He's
tariffs.
not tanking the
It's
market.
the threat of the tariffs that's
Right.
But
tanking
that
the
is
market.
that's exactly it. Just like in chess, the threat is worse than the execution.
Yes,
so
but
people
he's
are all
changed
at
his
Twitter.
mind 8 times, so nobody takes him seriously.
Well, but the countries will because they're freaking out, and they will cave immediately because they know
They
when
haven't caved immediately.
They haven't
But
caved.
they will. So everyone,
There's
the
so
media
much
wants
the-
to message the
Canada-
tariffs are
There's
so
so much
scary.
political
Canada
They will
pressure
end
today.
so quickly. You will all have whiplash.
All of the democracies that we're doing this to, right?
Yeah.
They are under tremendous political pressure to stand up to Trump. This is not the kind of thing that they're going to be able to easily cave. In Canada, they are taking American liquor off the shelves just because it's a popular thing to do. People are angry in these other countries. And it's, the best thing that Trump has done since he's been in office is he campaigned telling people that a tariff was a tax on other countries,
Ridiculous.
that it would not impact consumers.
Yeah.
Well, guess what? People are learning what tariffs are now.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, the 61% of Americans are against the way he's handling tariffs. It's because Americans are learning what tariffs are.
But they're not
Well,
receiving.
we all know what a tariff is. A tariff is a tax.
Yes. On the
And-
consumer, on the end user.
Exactly. And President Trump said that when he was campaigning.
No, he
Because
said
that
it
was
was.
his
He
decision.
said.
But by doing that, he's
Mexico,
forcing
Canada,
people to
and
bring
China
in
pay
their
the tax.
production and the building, the manufacturing
That's
into the
ridiculous. It's not
United
gonna
States.
happen.
to
Mexico and
They've
Canada-
already. China's already moved over here with their beer.
They moved to Mexico because we had an agreement to move to Mexico.
No,
Yeah.
they moved here.
He's moved
They-
$2 trillion
Yes,
into
right
this country
here into
in
the
2 months.
economy. Absolutely. Yes. Yes.
Well, I would argue. Yeah,
Can I get some of
I'd
that
love to
$1 trillion?
see when that
'Cause
money- I'd like to
because
see when that money shows up.
You'll see it
They
in
all
your
know how to play
pocketbook,
him
and then you'll say,
"We'll give you
"Oh,
$1
he
trillion."
was right. He was right."
I mean, can I just get a little bit of it to help me buy a car? Because we're in the market for a new car, and
Oh,
many
boy.
people are they're terrified about what's going to happen when it comes to price buying
Well,
a car.
listen, on his cheat sheet yesterday, on his little list, he said you could buy a Tesla for $39,000.
Yeah, I got friends probably giving those away, so I probably can go and just ask some of my lefty friends that bought a Tesla 3 years ago to give it to me.
Why don't we talk? Let's talk about that for a second. We're inside the war room. Tony Cani, former governor of Arizona Jan Brewer. We got Kristin, Bentz. Something you said, Tony. I do think people are scared. I absolutely think people are scared. I don't care what side of the aisle you're on. Maybe, if you love Trump and you love everything he does, maybe you're not
and
scared.
he can do no wrong. Yeah, to those
Okay,
people.
but again, and I just say, I give the example. That's my dad. My dad thinks Trump can really do no wrong. He's not really worried about his retirement. Guy's 78 years old. I said, Dad, you should be a little worried. But people,
Your inheritance.
people don't ask me for money. People are scared. Does he care if people are scared? Because I see the airlines say we're cutting back. I see
domestic travel
Well,
is down.
you know
I see
what?
Americans
You're the airline guy.
not spending anymore.
This is so different from what we've ever had before, ever in government and during kind of tough times, et cetera, and what went on with the Biden administration where nothing happened. We just sat around and it just went to pot, absolutely to pot. And Trump came in with all this energy within,
My
what has he been
401k
there,
did
53
great the
years.
last 4 years.
And he is making difference. He's making a change. And his polling is up. So the majority of the people like him.
So we talked about during the Biden years, when is the recession coming? So it never came. But now we're what, a couple months into the Trump presidency, and I see the R word everywhere. No, I don't know if it's going to happen. I'm not the sky is falling. But now we're seeing that. And he even said the other day.
The investment banks
They
think
said,
it's coming.
is it going to happen? Well, I don't like to answer questions like that. He didn't say no. He didn't say no. So if we're hearing the recession word now, people are worried about their jobs. People are saying we're not going to spend any more money because spending is down. The GDP is supposed to be, the forecast got slashed, supposed to be negative territory in the first quarter. Why should we not be scared?
I think it's a lot of fear mongering because if you're really, following the markets, I don't see a recession. And on your network, for years, I talked about us being in a recession, right? But from what I'm seeing now, okay, so the traditional answer is 3 consecutive quarters of negative GDP.
I thought it was 2.
3. We didn't go through that in the Biden administration.
No.
Ever. We're not going through it now. The biggest threat right now that people are the most worried about are losing jobs because they're seeing all their friends getting laid off. And the market hates uncertainty, and so does corporate America. So if you're looking, a lot of folks are laying off because they don't know what's going to happen.
So why is he being uncertain about everything?
I don't think he's being uncertain. I think he's moving fast and breaking things.
I think
and
he's
I think it
changing
scares
his
a lot of
mind
people.
every 5 seconds.
He's allowed. What are you going to do?
He's
Toys in the
allowed,
crib,
great.
But you can't have
Gaydos.
it
That's
both
the
ways.
political
That's the
maneuver.
uncertainty.
But
That's
I-
the
political
uncertainty.
You know,
maneuver.
But is that a smart move?
Yes,
Yes.
yes.
Why? Why is it a
Because
smart
in
move?
political and politics, you know, you want a lot of toys in the crib because you can go and about and do your business, and people are able to watch all the stuff that's going on.
But he's creating chaos, and people are
Yep.
saying, I'm not spending money anymore.
You know,
That's a good
one of the
politician
things I
saying
learned
that.
in the last election, and I was warning all my Democratic friends over and over again, stop saying the economy's okay. People are nervous.
Recession.
People are worried
inflation
about
was
their
hurting them.
spending.
Yeah.
It's impacting their families. They're worried about whether or not they're going to be able to afford for, care for their parents and these kinds of things. And now Republicans are like, oh, just chill. Here's a chart. Look at this chart. The economy's great. The people who I talk to that are not involved in politics and don't have a lot of money are terrified. They're not spending money. And guess what? That turns into something. It's
Right.
not fear-mongering for people to be afraid because they've seen their friends
But
lose
they
their
have
jobs.
been. That cohort under 50 grand a year, I talk about this all the time on your network. Those people have been hurting. This is not a new event for them. They've been hurting for the past 4 years.
But things are better for
No,
them.
they were told
Things
it was
are
all going to get
getting
better.
They were told things
better.
were gonna get better.
I will
Day
tell you
one.
the news where I get it. When inflation
one.
drops, you can't say it's not happening. It's a duck.
We're going to, inside the war room right now, Tony Cani, Jan Brewer, Kristin Bentz, coming up next. When it comes to the economy, what is it? Is Trump playing with fire or is he committing arson? The argument, is it on purpose? We're going to talk to it next. We're digging into it here. Outspoken on KTAR.
Hey, call the One Mortgage team. Tell them Gaydos sent you. They're going to treat you like family. And here's what you're going to do. You're going to get pre-qualified to purchase that house, okay? Not the easiest thing these days to buy a house. I get it. The One Mortgage team gets it too. That's why they'll absolutely make sure they get you the lowest rates and the lowest fees possible. But one thing that the Lund Mortgage wants you to know is this, and I want you to remember this: homes won't get cheaper. So the longer you wait, the more you're going to pay. If you were somebody out there that said, gosh, I was going to buy that house and I let it go for a couple of years, well, it didn't work out for you. Call the One Mortgage team, 623-875-9940. They can give you a starting point. What's the starting point? They'll tell you, they'll give you a figure. Here's how much house you can afford. Here's the number. And then they pre-qualify you, and then you start shopping for a home. 623-875-9940. LundMortgage.com.
KTAR News Flash.
517, I'm Becky Lynn, and here's what you need to know right now. A former Phoenix Sun has died. Oliver Miller, known as the Big O, passed away today. He was 54, a Fort Worth, Texas native. He was selected in the 1992 NBA draft and played a major role coming off the bench to help the Phoenix Suns make it to the NBA Finals in 1993. All of our top stories are just 15 minutes away. For more news, go to KTAR.com or the KTAR News app. Let's get you home. Here's John Roller to help you out in the Valley Chevy Dealers Traffic Center.
All right, thank you very much, Becky Lynn. New crash southbound I-17 right near Cactus, and this is causing slowing all the way back to the North Stack southbound I-17. Heads up for that. Also working a crash at Glendale just west of 21st Avenue. In Chandler, a crash at Chandler Heights and Lindsay Road, and a crash in the clearing stages in Buckeye, Van Buren, and Verrado Way. Traffic is brought to you by YRefi. Don't let private student loan debt ruin your life. Go to YRefi.com. That's YREFY.com. John Roller, KTAR News.
Now, back to the War Room. Insight and analysis about the biggest political stories in AZ and DC.
All right, we are inside the war room. Again, our guests, Democratic strategist Tony Cani, Kristin Bentz, CEO of the KB Advisory Group, and the former governor of Arizona, Jan Brewer, also happens to be the co-chair of the Karen Taylor Robeson campaign. All right, we're going to talk about governor's race here in a little bit. Don't you dare worry, Governor Brewer. But let's continue with the economy talk. And I guess here's one of the questions. How long will America wait? How long is the patience for this magical thing to all kick in and everything to be great again? And I'm curious as to what the timeline is, because I don't think America is a very patient country by nature.
That's an understatement.
Okay, well, I'm just saying. And you can see that borne out by some of the hysterics that are going on now.
Well, I mean, if you work in one of these industries that's being affected by the, like I mean, you guys are talking, the news we're talking about the bourbon, people selling distilleries, stuff like that.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter how long it takes.
Because it's hurting you right now.
These people are losing it up. They're struggling now. Mm-hmm. And, whether or not the appetite comes back in these other countries that are buying these things. And so, like, I think the question is, how long are Americans willing to wait politically? I don't know. But it is having a real impact on people's lives today. And one of the problems is, as we go forward with this fight over the budget and the fact that, like, Medicare, Medicaid, Social Security, these things are all being discussed as potential things that have to be cut or at least shored up or things moved over or privatized or whatever in order to make these budget numbers work. Those people, so like that safety net might be going away for the people who need, that year or 2 years or whatever for us to completely change the economy. And so I think that, like, this is dangerous. It's perilous.
Governor Brewer, I have a question for you. Who from the Trump administration can explain this in a way that America can understand it? Because if it's going to benefit us, and I don't know if it will. I'm not an expert. I don't know. But somebody's got to spoon feed it to us. And it's almost like I'm getting, don't worry, it'll be fine. You could be so rich. You're going to have more money. What did you say the other day? You're going to have so much money that you... Yeah. But that doesn't mean anything to me.
I think personally, maybe J.D. Vance would be the person to do that. Him being a lawyer, he understands the issues. People like him.
And he's good at explaining things.
And he's very good at explaining things. And he's young. Mm-hmm. And so he relates to that arena of those people that are probably going to be more affected by maybe some adjustments. I mean, it's not going to bother old people like me too much, I don't think. I hope not. If and it's going to take a little bit of time.
I think the problem
is
I think
if J.D. would go out there and explain it in layman's terms, but it's nothing that wasn't explained when he was running for election. He was going to shake it up.
You heard his joint address to Congress. He doesn't want to talk about this stuff. He chose not to. Those are a passing. The president and the vice president is going to follow his lead. They want to talk about the culture wars. They want to talk about the distraction thing. So it's a challenge for them to explain to the American people how this is good or it's bad when they don't want to talk about it.
My argument,
that's not
Tony,
true. That's the Democrats that are doing that. They're talking about their culture change. They haven't did anything for how many years, and now you're saying that he's not doing any. Come on, he's shaking it up, but he said all of it.
Well, I'm not saying he's not doing anything. He's doing a lot.
I'm
saying that he's avoiding.
But he never said it would be smooth.
No.
You're not going to get that assuaging for him. You're not going to get that. He's going to do what he said he did.
And he also says he's flexible, and he's already proven that. I mean,
I was going to say, I think part of the problem is J.D. Vance could come out and speak today.
He rides with the flow
in the next
hour.
But
it's not to scare people. He's moving things. He's getting things done. People they want change. Mm-hmm. They want change.
I get why people voted for Trump, and they wanted him to completely shake it up.
Yeah.
I get that. I get that. But when he's on the campaign trail beforehand, he's telling everybody how rich they're going to be and how much money you're going to be spending. I don't think anybody feels that way right now. And then it goes back to the patience of this.
He's going to fix it.
I know, but I don't know how many people believe that. I guess it's maybe 50-50. I don't know.
Absolutely not.
I think daily when you see Doge and you see what they're exposing and how they're cutting all of these costs and getting rid of all these ridiculous programs and ridiculous payments, I think there will be a stimulus out of this. I swear to God.
Meaning that we're all getting a check?
Yes. Yes, because you know what? He's going to put his name on it. He's going to put Donald Trump on it.
And it'll be a disaster. Don't get me wrong. And I want to understand how a $3 trillion deficit under Biden was a bad thing, but a $3 trillion deficit under Trump is okay.
Well, because they can point to certain things, they can spin some of these Doge cuts and act like, and those are the kind of like culture war things that they're pushing.
Yeah.
Like
the budget is still a
These Doge cuts are
budget.
not going to save the deficit. That's not going to do it.
And
what they're doing is they're setting up the
people.
idea that there is fraud in Social Security and there's fraud in Medicare and Medicaid, so they can justify to their base cutting those things. That is a fact.
There's
That
so
is
much
what is
fraud in
happening.
so many other areas, and it's such
Right,
a.
so let's talk about
it's
this
a,
other one.
it's
Not
a
the
lightning
most
rod with the
important
Democrats about
ones in
Medicare and
America.
Medicaid. And
It is.
social
It's a
programs.
lightning rod for yes.
That's not everything. He's not going to cut
is
all those.
so
There's so
important.
much more fat that needs to be cut in the budget, and they are exposing
the-
that
like in the
every
defense.
day.
Like in
Education,
defense, which they won't
Gaydos.
touch.
Say again, Governor.
Department of Education.
Exactly.
I mean, he's going to bring it back and give it to the states. I mean, those buildings back there in Washington, D.C., yeah, I know, were empty. I mean, the people were not working there. So they take our tax dollars that we work hard for, and we send it to the feds for them to take the money and decide who's going to get what for what and send it back here. In the meantime, we can't give it to our teachers. We got to do it for their little projects that they
Bureaucracy.
want out of D.C. We need to bring it home, and that's going to make a huge difference
Governor,
for education.
you stood up for Medicaid when you were
I
governor.
did, absolutely I did.
It is a very important program.
It
Would
is
you
very
agree?
important.
So it's not like this thing that doesn't matter. Like I mean, this is like
It absolutely matters, but
Yes.
the Democrats' messaging, and we're talking about messaging previously, is really like holding on to that life raft. There's so many other programs that are being cut. It's not like they're just going to attack
all right.
Medicare.
So
and
what I
people-
should be doing is
Tony,
I should be
the people
pointing out
that are
all
worried
the other
most
programs
about
that they're
Medicare and
cutting.
Medicare, especially in Medicaid, are probably the people that are maybe not deserving of Medicare.
All the
They're
money-
not working.
all
They're
the
not
money in the
doing
budget
something.
is in defense and entitlements. That's where the money is. You're cutting other things. You're not talking about real things. You're just not. You're trimming around the edges.
We got to leave it at that. We got to leave it. We got to
Inside
have
the
the
war
war
room.
We got to leave it at that.
The governor's race for 2026 already in full swing. Could Governor Brewer deliver Arizona's next governor? We'll talk to her about it. It's coming up next. We're Outspoken here on KTAR.
Start smart with Arizona's morning news.
President Trump again Friday called for the repeal of the CHIPS and Science Act. Phoenix Mayor Kate Gallego says it's brought in the largest foreign direct investment in the nation's history. Other companies, she says, will pull out of the Phoenix area if the CHIPS and Science Act goes away.
Arizona's morning news, weekday mornings 5 to 8 on Arizona's news station, KTAR News, 92.3 FM, and the KTAR News app.
Hey, Governor Brewer, how's your roof? You need anybody to come and check it for you? Because I'm going to talk to America Roofing today.
I don't know. I haven't been up there lately.
Have you been up on your roof lately, Governor? That'd be fantastic. I love that.
I just had a new roof put on, though.
Okay, don't talk about that.
I
We're
won't.
going to talk. I don't know who you used, so I'm just going to say you should have used, or maybe you did use America Roofing. And America Roofing, by the way, 25 years in business, local company. You can check them out at AmericaRoofingCo.com. Here's why I like these guys. As I said, 25 years in business. When you call over there, family-owned and operated, Jake and Josh, Tracy, these guys work hard. They'll help you with some financing. No need to wait. And we're going to have rain. Again, we had rain today. We're going to have it tomorrow, tonight. If you find out that you do have a leak, if you got that nasty brown spot on the top of your ceiling, immediately call America Roofing. 602-960-ROOF.
Is your better half moving on to greener pastures? Is brown just not your favorite color? Then join us Sunday mornings from 7 to 9 a.m. for the Whitfield Nursery Garden Show. Good tips, great smiles, and fun colors. Yes, that's you. Hi, this is Brian from Whitfield Nursery. That's me. Join me Sunday mornings from 7 to 9 a.m. We'll green up your garden, save your trees, chase off those pests, and save some water, and just have fun. That's the Whitfield Nursery Garden Show, Sundays from 7 to 9 a.m. on KTAR.
Hi, I'm Stuart Willis, president of Asset Preservation Wealth and Tax. Will your investments last throughout retirement? Do you have a retirement strategy to minimize your long-term taxes? If not, tune into Arizona's own Asset Preservation Hour right here on KTAR, Saturdays at 2 p.m. and 4 p.m. or Sundays at 2 p.m. What should you do about the current economic conditions? Stay informed and stay tuned into the Asset Preservation Hour Saturdays at 2 p.m. and 4 p.m. or Sundays at 2 p.m. on KTAR.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Hi, I'm Chuck McDowell, the timeshare cancellation guy and founder of Wesley Financial Group, and I want to set the record straight. I am not an attorney. I've never wanted to be an attorney, and the truth is I really don't even like attorneys. If I sound like an attorney or if I look like an attorney, I'll apologize. But what I've learned in my 15 years in the timeshare cancellation business is you don't need to be an attorney to get folks out of their timeshare. At Wesley, we've helped over 40,000 families cancel their timeshare without me being an attorney. And I want to share with you how we do it. Just give my office a call, and you will not talk to an attorney. And I guarantee if we take you as a client, We'll get you out of your timeshare, or you'll pay nothing.
Call now for your free timeshare exit info kit. 800-931-6677. That's 800-931-6677. 800-931-6677.
Someone robbing your home is a scary idea, and not being prepared for it's even worse. And there's an easy way to prepare. It's Bulldog security screens. They protect like a fortress. There's great things about this. Custom measured for your home. They look perfect on the outside of your home. They don't obstruct your views. It is beautiful, but more than anything else, they protect like a fortress. They invited me to try to break in, and I tried sliding doors, regular front doors, French doors, windows, and I wasn't able to break in. I used everything from a baseball bat to a bowling ball and even a sledgehammer. The only thing that broke was the baseball bat. I was not able to break in. That is real home protection. Give yourself peace of mind. Leave your doors and windows wide open in this perfect weather with real home protection from Bulldog Security Screens, the people I believe in and trust. Go to BulldogSecurityScreens.com. That's BulldogSecurityScreens.com. Insist on the Bulldog, because Bulldog Security Screens, they're tough.
My name is John. I've been Republican my whole life. I voted for Donald Trump. But when I hear how Republicans in Congress want to cut Medicaid, that's just wrong.
Right now, some Republicans in Congress are trying to make major cuts to Medicaid. These cuts could take health care coverage away from millions of veterans, children with disabilities, and seniors in nursing homes. The Republicans who proposed them may not realize these Medicaid cuts hurt everyone, including Americans who voted for them.
Medicaid should not be about politics. Too many people rely on it every day for their health care. I'm a Republican, and my message to Republicans in Congress is this: stop these cuts to Medicaid.
Call Congressman Schweikert at 202-225-2190 and tell him to stop these cuts to Medicaid. Paid for by Save My Care.
KTAR News now.
It's 5:31. Good afternoon. I'm Becky Lynn. Elon Musk, who heads President Trump's Department of Government Efficiency, has suggested the U.S. should privatize the U.S. Postal Service. And that triggered a series of protests by USPS workers across the country. In Biloxi, Mississippi, dozens of letter carriers and postal workers protested the potential privatization and possible cuts by the Trump administration. Antonia Shields tells WLOX that not only would privatizing the service hurt the workers, it would end up hurting rural America.
I don't care where you at, where you live, we will deliver. And we're universal, and the cost is equal all across the United States. It's regulated. And if they take it and the billionaires get their hands on it, and then we will have prices and we won't be able to deliver in our rural areas.
Eyes on Education.
Someone else protesting today, teachers. The Arizona Education Association says teachers would like to be included as legislators negotiate an extension of Prop 123 to fund K-12 education. Tucson high school teacher and state representative Nancy Gutierrez says teachers are underpaid, burnt out, and feel unsupported.
They're in Washington, D.C. They're not in touch with what's going on in our schools.
That from State Schools Chief Tom Horn, who says he's in support of the dramatic cuts to the Department of Education recently announced by the Trump administration.
About 1,300 federal employees from the Department of Education facing layoffs, nearly half of its workforce. Horn tells Arizona's Morning News this is the kind of thing he wants to see more of from the White House, but notes it shouldn't immediately impact programs in Arizona.
They can lay off workers without the permission of Congress, but I don't think they can cut off Title I funds that go to poorer schools, special education money. All those things ought to continue.
Horn adding he wants these funds to be controlled by his office at the state level instead of in Washington. Kay Orta, KTAR News.
Let's get a look at the roads now with John Roller in the Valley Chevy Dealers Traffic Center.
All right, thank you very much, Becky Lynn. DPS troopers doing a nice job getting the one and only mainline crash we have working right now, and that's southbound I-17. This happened just prior to the Peoria off-ramp. They've got that off to the right, so all lanes are back open. You still have slowing starting at Union Hills. Just lean to the left, give the troopers a little extra space there, and you are good to go into the stack. Also, a little bit of slowing now on the eastbound I-10 transitioning to the northbound I-17, and your slowing stays with you all the way to Dunlap. Have a crash working Glendale just west of 21st Avenue. That is on the east side of I-17, and a crash at Chandler Heights and Lindsay Road. Traffic is brought to you by your Valley Toyota dealers. Toyota's Ready, Set, Go national sales event. It's going on right now. Choose from best-selling models like Camry, Tacoma, Tundra, and much more. Visit your Valley Toyota dealers today. John Roller, KTAR News.
54 overnight, 60% chance of seeing some showers. Tomorrow's high 65 and a 40% chance of more rain. It's 72 right now in Maricopa. Weather brought to you by Howard Air and Plumbing. Whether replace or repair, call Howard Air and Plumbing. I'm Becky Lynn on Arizona's news station, KTAR News.
Now, back to the War Room. Insight and analysis about the biggest political stories in AZ and DC.
All right, second half of the War Room is underway. On our panel today, Kristin, Bentz, CEO of KB Advisory Group. We've got Tony Cani, Democratic strategist, and we've got the former governor of the great state of Arizona, Jan Brewer, who's also the co-chair of the Karen Taylor Robeson campaign.
Oh, that leads
Karen Taylor Robeson is running for governor.
She is.
Governor Brewer, in this chair you are sitting in, we had Governor Hobbs in yesterday. Okay, I have a question about Karen Taylor Robeson. I do like her.
We've had her in.
Yeah, I've always liked her.
I got her to come.
Thank you.
Did you get her in the War Room? That's fantastic.
You said you got to do it.
You just frighten people.
I don't frighten. Can I be honest? I don't mind frightening politicians. I don't mind that at all.
I used to be afraid, but not anymore.
No, you love me now.
I do.
So, is Karen Taylor Robeson MAGA or Republican? Can you be? You have to be one, right?
I think the Republican Party, the majority today, is, along the lines of MAGA, Make America Great Again. I think maybe not at 100%, but, we believe in that philosophy, little government, lower taxes, modernize and be creative. And Karen is a lifelong Republican. I mean, her mother was a go-water girl, and she is so well educated and so entwined in the business community and has such a endearing personality and a hard worker that she would make the perfect governor. I've known her whole life practically, and she just is an amazing person.
But it seemed like she would point out some of the stuff she didn't like from Trump, and now I don't see that. I see everything he's doing is fine.
Well, I don't know if everything is fine with her, I mean, she certainly appreciates his support. I mean, he came out and he endorsed her, which was a real good thing because he carries the state of Arizona. People love Trump. They like what he's doing. I mean, overall, he's leading the races there. So she's got his people. But she's, mainstream, too. She's got a lot of mainstream people.
But that's kind of the problem. How do you walk that line?
Well,
because
I'll tell you how. You pretend.
You have to be a truth teller. You have to go out there and you have to do what you believe and say whatever is truth.
Governor, you said truth teller, and Tony said you got to pretend.
You got to pretend, and that's what she's doing. Because how many people did she go around for over the past year and talk trash about Donald Trump and MAGA people specifically their names over the past couple of years? All of a sudden she decides to run for governor. That stops. And one thing that Arizonans can sniff out is somebody who's being disingenuous. I think she should just be herself. I think she'd be a much stronger candidate.
Teller.
But she's not a truth teller about what she's done for a living. She doesn't truth tell the fact that she's been a lobbyist for over 20 years.
Okay.
What's wrong with that?
Well, it's not the kind of, you don't go around. Do you say I'm a business person? Am I a business person?
I am a business person.
Like she has been a corporate lobbyist for the past 20 some years. She's going to argue as though she's someone who's out there creating jobs.
It's been a long time since she's been a lobbyist.
She was a registered lobbyist this year.
Well, I don't know if she's lobbying or not, but there's
nothing wrong with it. She announced she was a registered lobbyist.
I don't know who she's lobbying for, but that's okay because we need lobbyists because they come and bring all the information.
Well, I hope that you guys defend her like that. It'd be an excellent debate.
Are you a lobbyist?
I'm not. I won't do it.
Hold on. So is she having to appeal more to the MAGA side because her threat is, as of right now, it's Andy Biggs, right? I mean, is he the only other?
Oh, geez.
Well, I mean, I think he's the only other Republican name I've heard thrown in, at least the serious one. And
is that serious?
Andy Biggs? I'm pretty sure he's serious for running for governor.
So yeah, absolutely. He's in. He's out there. In fact, he called me and we talked. And I certainly, I told him, I said, it's really bad when you've got your friends that are all running against each other. I said the one thing that I want to hear is that you guys are not going to talk trash about one another, that you're going to get out there and you're going to be truth tellers. I like that word. Be truth tellers and talk about the policy. That's what the people want.
Well, I would make this argument, and I don't agree with Andy Biggs on much, but at least he's consistent. I'll give him that in that standpoint. He is who he is. I think Karen Taylor Robson's problem is she needs to convince people it's not the same Karen Taylor Robson who ran for governor last time.
When you sit and watch a candidate, when you've done this, when you sit and watch somebody who's a candidate, you can tell people who are overcoached. You can tell people who are trying to think of what it is they prepare, what their consultants, what all the people have been paying doing. And she's somebody who appears as overcoached.
Why? Because she's intelligent and she can carry on a conversation and she can explain things. She's an educated lawyer. She is really, really amazing. Really, really amazing.
I think she's probably a good person, but I think that she's not. Listen, she is trying to reinvent herself. I don't think that people see her.
I have known her whole life. She hasn't reinvented herself.
You don't think she says she doesn't say something differently in private that she does in public?
Doesn't her?
Who doesn't?
Most politicians do, right?
Yeah, not all of them. Trust me, not all of them, because there's some that you wish would. But I just think that what's going to happen with her is that people are going to sniff out that she's not being genuine.
Let's talk about Governor Hobbs. We're inside the war room.
Who we assume will be running for re-election. Yeah. It will be the Democratic nominee.
Governor Brewer, how do you describe the leadership of Governor Katie Hobbs? How do you think she's done?
Well, I wished her well. I wanted her to be successful, certainly for Arizona, and had the opportunity to speak with her on a few occasions. And unfortunately, I don't believe she's gotten any wind beneath her wings. She's, had such a change of staff up there on the 9th floor. She's made some decisions that are not good ones as far as, I think, for the state of Arizona. But more than that, I think that she has kind of changed her Democratic beliefs too, so now she's losing her Democrats because she's kind of gone a little bit more to the right.
Like talking about the border and things like that, you mean?
Yes, right. All of a sudden, the border's a big concern, which we don't have to worry about anymore because President Trump took care of it.
The border's better. There's no doubt.
Much better. And I know something about the border.
Yes, you do. So could she get primaried? That's
Hobbs.
Yeah.
That's what I hear.
I don't think she will be primaried. I don't think so.
Because it looks to me like Mays wants to run, and it looks like Fontes
Mays wants to run for attorney general, where she's making a big difference.
You don't think they want the big
seat?
She's
committed to running for attorney general. I mean, the last I've talked to her, she is. And Fontes. I mean, from my own perspective, I want everybody to run for re-election. I don't want 3 people to be running for one office, and then we have to find other people to run, because I think that we've got 3 good people in office, and so I don't think that. I don't think she'll be primaried. Of course, I did say on here I did not think Biden was going to drop out.
That one, didn't I?
And so you got me on that one. They'd be replaced.
We take everything you say with a grain of
salt. I'll be honest. I've been proven wrong before, but I really don't think so. I think they're preparing hard.
Bring that up, by the way.
I bring it up every time I'm here.
Tony, it was one of my favorite war room moments when I
was like, absolutely no way. And then I got a phone call. You want to come in today? And I'm like, yeah, I'll be there. I'll be there. I'll admit that I was wrong.
All right. We're inside the war room. He's Tony Cani. There's Governor Brewer. She's Kristin Bentz. Outstanding. All right, coming up next, let's change gears a little bit. And something that you knew about. The state of Arizona going to be carrying out its first execution since 2022. It's coming up. What's changed in the last few years that made Governor Hobbs change her mind? We'll talk about it. It's coming up next. We're Outspoken on KTAR.
Tired of fighting for your store's last bottle of water or lugging hundreds of bottles of water each year from the store to the car to the fridge to the recycling? For less than $1 a day from Parker & Sons, you can have an unlimited supply of bottle quality water right at your tap. Drinking water keeps you healthier, aids in weight loss, keeps skin hydrated, and flushes your body of toxins. Call Parker for your free estimate on a reverse osmosis system at 602-2-REPAIR or visit parkerandsons.com.
Hi, it's Jess, the co-founder of Bodify. Are you still struggling with fat? Are you ready for real results? Bodify is bringing you the ultimate fat-blasting combo. We're now offering semaglutide, the game changer everyone's raving about. For a limited time, Cool Sculpting clients get up to $2,000 off, plus your first month of semaglutide for just $99. Don't miss out. This offer won't last. Visit freezemeaz.com to lock in your savings. That's freezemeaz.com.
My friends at Window World of Phoenix provide the best value in quality replacement windows, patio doors, and entry doors. You always get their lowest pricing up front without any salesy gimmicks, like 6 large premium vinyl siding windows, all with Solar Zone Sunshield glass, tax included, and installed for one low upfront price of only $4,725. So, while other contractors jack up their prices every few months, at Window World you get an affordable upfront price that's often less than half the cost of the other guys. Folks, this is what's called a no-brainer in home remodeling. Plus, they back it up with a true lifetime warranty. See for yourself why over half of all new Window World customers come from happy referrals. Schedule today at windowworldphoenix.com. That's windowworldphoenix.com. Window World, simply the best for less.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm. An important message about your timeshare from Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group.
If you receive an unsolicited phone call or mail piece to discuss selling, renting, or especially canceling your timeshare, don't fall for it. Contact your timeshare resort or Wesley Financial Group for assistance, and I'll send you our timeshare exit information kit free with the straight facts about timeshare cancellation.
Call 800-292-7788. 800-292-7788.
Tired of hearing scary radio ads about the IRS? Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000 or $500,000, we have a solution. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS with zero risk to you. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with a BBB. End your tax nightmare today by visiting TRA.com or call 800-275-1728. That's 800-275-1728.
KTAR News Flash.
It is 5:45. I'm Becky Lynn, and here's what you need to know right now. Airlines sounding the alarm of economic uncertainties that might be ahead as travel bookings are slowing.
Each of the major U.S. airlines is now putting out guidance that there is significant economic uncertainty directly impacting domestic bookings. Worries about the future of the economy, along with fears over recent crashes, have Americans pulling back from travel. United, Southwest, American, and Delta say government and corporate bookings have plummeted. United saying government bookings are down 50%. Airlines will be reducing the number of seats by flying fewer or smaller planes into markets because of the downturn. Alex Stone, ABC News.
All of our top stories are just 15 minutes away. And for more news, go to KTAR.com or the KTAR News app. We'll see how the road ahead looks for you tonight. Here's John Roller in the Valley Chevy Dealers Traffic Center.
All right, thank you very much, Becky Lynn. Well, taking a look at the ADOT cameras, we've got clouds all around, but right now, no rain. The Valley main lines are looking pretty good. Only one main line crash, and it's off to the right. This happened southbound I-17 just prior to the Peoria off-ramp, and this crash is completely off to the right. Only moderate slowing from the 202 and the 101, I should say, the North Stack coming southbound on the I-17. We are working a crash on the northbound 202 South Mountain Freeway right near Elliott, and we have a crash coming in now 67th Avenue in Campbell. That's the half-miler between Indian School Road and Camelback, and a crash in Tempe, McClintock, just north of Baseline. Traffic is brought to you by America Roofing. If you have rain and roof issues, save 10% with America Roofing. Call 602-690-ROOF or online at americaroofingco.com. John Roller, KTAR News.
Hi, KTAR listeners. It's Wayne from AMCO. So it's the new year, W-2s are out, it's tax time, and soon we'll be getting our tax return checks. Oh, and I know what I'm using mine for. How about you guys? Well, whatever you decide to do with your tax return money, don't forget about your car. You know, getting your taxes done can be confusing, but where to take your car when it needs repairs isn't. That's us at AMCO. Now, you all know it can take 8 weeks or more to get your check back. And no, don't wait till then to get your car fixed. This is the best time of year to get all the things done that you've been meaning or wanting to get repaired on your car. Why now, you ask? Well, that's easy. AMCO has the Fix It Fast, Pay It Slow plan all year long. But at tax time, it works the best. You can get your car or truck all fixed up now and drive away, and then pay for it when your tax money comes in. I know that's pretty awesome. That's because we're AMCO. Google AMCO for your nearest location. That's AMCO. AA, MCO, transmissions, and a whole lot more.
Call Doug Hopkins, 1-800-SELL now. Call Doug Hopkins, 1-800-SELL now.
I'm Doug Hopkins with My Home Group and DougHopkins.com, and I want to buy your house. If you're considering selling your home for any reason, do yourself a favor and let us show you how we can give you more. With no agent fees, no commissions, no repairs, and no showings, you can get a straightforward cash deal that you can close on in as little as 3 days. Other buyers may try to make you an offer without ever seeing your home. They may try to lower that offer or even cancel the deal after inspecting it. I will never do that. Our team will come out to your house and make you a fair as-is cash offer on the spot and will never cancel after the deal is signed for any reason. That's the Doug Hopkins difference. See for yourself why more people trust the Doug Hopkins team. Visit us today at DougHopkins.com or
Call Doug Hopkins, 1-800-SELL now. Call Doug Hopkins, 1-800-SELL now.
Now, back to the War Room. Insight and analysis about the biggest political stories in AZ and DC.
We are inside the War Room, the last segment. We do this every Wednesday, by the way.
Sure do.
Whose idea is that?
Wait until next week.
Oh, God, don't start with this.
Oh, we've got a... You like this panel.
Yeah. Speaking of our panel, Kristin, Bentz, the CEO of the KB Advisory Group, Tony Cani, a Democratic strategist, and the former governor of the great state of Arizona, one Jan Brewer. Great to have you
The
guys
governor
here.
just said, what are we, chopped liver?
What,
No, I
chopped
said
liver
this
over
is
here?
a great panel.
Yeah.
And we're going to have another great panel next week.
We aim to be consistent.
I know.
No, that's not what you said.
Is that what I
That's
said?
not what he said.
She's
is
on
it?
to you.
I know. I was trying to cover
What did I say? Anyway.
This
We'll
is
go
a
back and
great.
listen
You
to
were
it.
talking about the panel next week, and it was
Yeah.
a really great panel. And I
Right.
said, "What
It's
are
not
we,
as,
chop
it's not
liver?"
as good as this panel.
Ouch. So,
Look at me
I'm
being a politician
I
right there.
see it.
I'm glad that we have Governor Brewer in here because this ties right into things that you had to deal with when you were governor. Arizona will have its first execution since 2022 when there was a pause put on executions, and a pause due to a variety of reasons, one of them being one of the concerns about actually getting the drugs needed for the lethal injection, if I remember correctly.
Correct.
There literally
That's
was
correct.
a problem physically getting your hands on the drugs and being able to carry out these executions. Why did Governor Hobbs, though, pause it in 2022? Well, she didn't, but you understand. Why has she changed her mind? Why is she back on the executions will move forward phase? Is there a reasoning?
I don't know. I don't know the reason. I do know that the concerns that they had about the process seem to have been alleviated.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I think, you know, it's the law of the land that we execute people in Arizona. I personally am against the death penalty. I wish that we weren't in the business of it at all. It seems like we could just lock people up,
Well,
whatever.
Governor Hobbs was against the death penalty.
I think she probably still is personally. I mean, that's a thing that a lot of us have, but you know,
she changed your mind
about whether or not to follow the law, right, and do this. And I know that the concern, they did the study to see whether or not the process was good and the drugs, and so they must be more confident about it now.
So back in what, 2014? You were governor in 2014.
Correct.
I think that was like, they called it the botched execution, right?
Oh, did they?
I don't know. Is that what they called it?
It apparently took an hour and 57 minutes.
Do you remember that
And
day?
there was,
I remember Troy Hayden, our friend. Troy Hayden was
Yes.
one of the witnesses, and he said, I think he counted that the guy gasped 166 times like a fish out of water.
What's it like being the governor when someone is getting executed? Is it? I don't know.
It's breathtaking. It's you know, we don't like to think, and I'm pro death penalty. I am. I think certain people need to be executed. I think it's the right thing to do. But still, when you're the governor and you have to make that decision,
You're like the
you wanna
final
make
word.
Sure, yes, that you have to make that decision that it's going to happen. And there was other issues prior to that one, if you all recall, not only in Arizona but in Oklahoma and other places where the drugs weren't working properly, and the people that were administrating the injection
Right.
weren't qualified, evidently. They weren't doing it correctly. And then when we thought we had it all worked out, because we were able to get the drugs because so many people were death penalty. They weren't manufacturing. You couldn't get your hands on the equipment.
The drug manufacturers wouldn't sell it.
Right. So we finally get it, and had a whole line of people kind of lined up, and so we had to finally we got the drug. So we finally moved forward with it, and we thought it was going to go, and then you find out that it was botched, and it was unfortunate. And I felt bad. I felt bad for his family and the people that witnessed it. Nobody wants to be in a situation where they have to watch somebody suffer. Nobody.
Yeah. Anybody with
or
me
do we
on
want
the...
to do we want to punish people by making them suffer? I mean,
No.
we're Americans.
No, we don't do that.
We're citizens.
You would hope we're a
we're
little better than
civilized.
that.
But is anybody with me on the firing squad?
I am.
Why are you? Yeah, I think it's more humane.
I think specifically for that reason, and this is going to sound interesting because I want to say that it's less margin of error, but really, I believe it's a much safer and more accurate.
Less expensive.
Less expensive, absolutely.
You're not shooting a guy in the head.
No.
You're shooting him in the heart.
Yeah.
You're going to die one way or the other. How can we make this as quick as possible?
That kind of bothers me, and the reason why is I think that we're all taught don't play with guns, don't shoot people, don't kill people,
Right.
and then we see society and government shooting people. Shooting
Interesting.
people.
Yeah.
It's
Different way to look at
Bit
it.
of a mixed message at times, yes, say the least.
Back to messaging.
All of you.
There.
All three of you, thank you so much for your time
Thank you.
inside the War Room. Governor Brewer, Kristin, Bentz, Tony Cani. We appreciate you being a part of the discussion today. We'll do it again next Wednesday at 5 o'clock. We've got a quick check of the headlines. And then up next, have we forgotten how to interact with one another in public? And can you blame COVID for that? We're talking about it next. We're Outspoken on KTAR.
All right, let's talk about your house, the Arizona Painting Company. Governor Brewer, you want them to come over and paint your house? I can get you a good deal.
Absolutely.
Oh, see, I got Brewer on. This is fantastic. I'll get you in there. All right, so Governor Brewer might have her house painted by the Arizona Painting Company. Here's why you should choose them. And I've known them for 20 years. Been talking about them during afternoons for the last 20 years. They are the #1 painting company in Arizona. And the thing